What's going on? It's Charlie from SMTV. I'm here with Demon Mixon and Austin Lindsay. We were just on action at hand to see Southern Miss lose to North Texas 38-14. They started out 14-0 in the first quarter, but then the Mean Green scored 38 unanswered points, and now Southern Miss drops to 1-8. I'm just going to hand it over to Dima. He was in the press box with me. What did you see tonight, Dima?
Yeah, I saw a team come out, like always, and put together a very good first drive. And then right after that, it just seems like it fell apart. And it's partly due to what Austin and I talked about previous video, which is the offensive line. But it was also a lot to do tonight with not just the offense, but the defense. They were gashed tonight. I think North Texas had, let me get it back here, 321 rushing yards. That is a gashing in the defense, and they almost had 600 yards total. So
yeah, 300 rushing yards. That's the most since Will Hall was actually the offensive coordinator at Tulane when Tulane played Southern Miss, and of course he's the head coach now, allowing 300 yards. Austin, you were on the field, up close. It was a lot of battles in the trenches. What did you see?
Just a rebuttal, kind of what Dima said. Came out hot. 38 unanswered points, and it was just a terrible night for the defense. Just the rushing attack was going for North Texas. We saw Isaiah Johnson get it going. We saw his kind of points, 119 yards for Isaiah. So we saw a lot of things here today, and I think it's just like one of those days where it's like, man, Southern Miss showed promise again, got your hopes up, started out 14-0, a pick six to make it 14. And then after that, it went downhill in the second half, and it's just one of those days where it's like, man, as a fan, it's tough, and it's just tough for me.
Yeah, you could definitely feel the energy just kind of get sucked out. Football is one of those energy-based sports, and just especially at the start of the second half, even though it was 14-7 lead, you could just feel it was going in the wrong direction, and it didn't get any better after that.
And just to put something extra on that, Southern Miss has just been terrible in the second half. They've not been able to put up many points in the second half. And it's been a struggle for them, especially in the second half. It seems like teams figured them out as the game goes on. We saw Jay Blaine make a huge throw to Brownlee for a touchdown. Then things went out of hand. He overthrew some passes. They had the out route. They had the hitches. They had the plays, but couldn't convert them. And it's truly terrible to see when a guy, he's been starting out for his third week, and you see improvement there, but it's still some things that still slack in execution, and it's truly tough to see, on a night like this where you would think that the things were going Southern Miss way, and it completely reversed in the second half. But this has been the story of this season, specifically. The second half, you come out, the other team completely dominates. We saw a scoop and score go on, we saw other mishaps, and it was just truly terrible.
yeah, I think so. Southern Miss has been outscored 69-20 in the third quarter alone this whole season. So it kind of backs up what Austin's saying about how the second half. He said in the past video is like the third quarter is like where they fall apart. And I asked Will Hall about it a couple of weeks ago, but also this game did feel a lot like the Tulane game in the previous year. In the beginning of that game, it was a back and forth game. Both teams were scoring touchdowns. Southern Miss was right there with them, and then they gashed them in 166-24. So it felt a lot like that game tonight, this afternoon. But yeah, it's definitely very sad, especially if you're a fan. It's really just deflating,
It's just kind of a repeat of the losses that have happened this season. Kind of the same storyline, but what is new is that Southern Miss has extended its losing streak to 7 games, which is its longest losing streak since 2013. And that 2013 squad, if it's not fresh in your mind, I'm going to put it back there. They went 1-11, lost their first 11 games.
Yeah, and they were coming off of the 2012 season, which was 0-12, so they were 0-23 that streak right there for the city.
So Coach Hall has emphasized that it's going to start with recruiting, and we try to get something to see what they could do now. And he basically just said that it's a lot of execution problems, right? Yes. And they're doing all that they can, but they still need to improve on the execution. Because like you said, on that first drive, that was great execution. That pass to Brownlee was beautiful.
And Will Hall said that in the postgame conference. He said, I asked him, was it tempo? And he said, no, we just executed 5 good plays in a row. And if we could continue to do that, maybe we're good. I want to ask y'all, though, what do y'all think about every single time we ask football, how do they get better? Like, his answer is always recruitment.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on that?
It's specifically, it's kind of like the same song,
Yeah.
a different story, kind of just a different outcome, but at the end of the day, it's still the same outcome for the Southern Miss Golden Eagles right now, which is a loss. And it's like you got to stay optimistic somehow. So recruiting is the only way that you can kind of keep fans' hopes up. And it's kind of like right now they're in the crossroads, like you're 1-8 and lost 7 straight. You hadn't beaten an FBS opponent in like a year now. So it's kind of like specifically how are you going to get those guys to come on board? But Coach Hall, he's a great speaker, and he can convince you. So we'll just have to see where things go from there. So it's going to be the same song. We're not going to win might not win another game. Let me not say
We're
that.
not winning next year.
Definitely not against UTSA. It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
But,
Just a bridge to that, Southern Miss is playing UTSA, which they are currently ranked number 16
in the AP poll,
in
not
the
in the playoff rank.
in the AP poll. Yes,
that was bogus in the playoff poll too.
So
That was
we'll
bogus,
have
yeah.
to see where they move, but regardless, Southern Miss is going to be playing a tough opponent next week on the road before they will return one last time to play at the Rock.
against FIU.
Yes.
So hopefully that could be a game that's with potential to
Yeah.
win.
And in between FIU, maybe play at Louisiana Tech.
And Southern Miss in its bad seasons has historically had a great ending to their seasons. Last year when Coach Hall was here to visit against FAU, and then in that 2013 season destroyed UAB 60-something to
62 to
20-something.
39.
There you go. So this has been Charlie from SMTV,
Dima.
And Austin Lindsay.
and we'll see you soon.